What's up, guys? Hey, Lane, what's going on? Hey, Jonathan, what's happening? Lillian and Brian and Christina, what's going on? Hey, everybody, welcome. Those of you on YouTube, those of you on Zoom, welcome to this month's Inner Circle. I want to tell you, we have usually way more Zoom rooms open. We're trying to open some more right now. So many of you showed up. I love it, playing full out. The team underestimated, but it's just as great on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, awesome. We're trying to open up more Zoom rooms. We'll let you know when we do. But either way, the value of this information is going to be priceless today. I want to tell you, hey, everybody, I see all your chats. Chat away, please, in YouTube and in Zoom. I see all of you. Listen, we have so many new family members. So those of you who've been in Inner Circle for a long time, please welcome an amazing new group of family that are part of Project Next, a part of Mastermind. We love having you here. This is something we do, I've been doing almost a decade, every single month. And it's truly become a family. You might even see a different version of me if this is your first time here. I feel so comfortable with my Inner Circle family. I've shared personal stuff here that I've never shared anyplace else, and it's a place to stay connected. The main theme of Inner Circle, for those of you that are new, are the three M's: mindset, marketing, and momentum. I believe without the right mindset, we all quit. Can we all agree? Who's quit on something that they've really been passionate about in their life because your imposter syndrome or your mind got in the way, right? We know that. So we got to work on that on a consistent basis. It's like going to the gym. We can't go to the gym once for a weekend and work out like animals and expect to be in great shape for the rest of our lives. So we have to do it on a consistent basis. And once we have the right mindset, then we're always going to need marketing. How do we influence? How do we persuade? How do we elegantly move forward through service? So I'll cover that on, regular basis. And then the last is momentum. Because once we have the right mindset and we got the marketing in place, then we need the momentum to move forward. So that's what I came up with, I don't know, maybe 7-8 years ago with Inner Circle. We launched, just being transparent with you guys, we launched Inner Circle for $97 a month, maybe 7 years ago. And we've had thousands and thousands of people that have been a part of Inner Circle for all that time. Most people don't leave. So those of you who are a part of Mastermind, a part of Project Next, know that we decided this year to make Inner Circle a part of Mastermind, a part of Project Next. So you get this, right? For your whole entire Mastermind, I think it's $47 a month. Not only do you everything in Mastermind and the regular training and part of the community and the 30-day jumpstart and a course every month, this alone, I promise you, if you'll tune in, I promise you will be a game changer for you, because every month we'll be able to be together collectively. And what I love to do is I love to always pick something that I feel for that month. So it's always a surprise, because it's either a book I'm reading or experience I went through, a breakthrough that I had, something that really has made an impact in my life is what I'll teach. So it's a pleasure and a privilege to have you here, guys. Anne and Ruth and Lorraine and Julie and Angel and Dawn and Jodine and Sheena, Sina and Stacy and Renee, Alexis, it's great to have you all here. A couple of things. What I decided to share today, especially because we had the Time to Thrive Challenge and so many of you were there. We have the Mastermind World Summit coming up and most all of you have tickets. This is such a powerful time. It's such an important time, that's a better word, to gain the confidence and the capabilities to boldly move forward. Wouldn't we agree that we need to be more bold right now than ever before? I mean, I would have to say, this is a time of uncertainty, a time of separation, a time of, I mean, I've never seen, I'm 53 years old, I've never seen in my lifetime such a divided, at least here in America, such a divided politics that's trying to push us to choose completely far apart when we have way more in common. So we have this polarized politics, we have recession, we have inflation, probably heading into another basis point of interest rates in October. A lot is changing and a lot of uncertainties happening. But during uncertainty, why is there so much success created by a small group of people? Right? Did you ever Google some of the top companies in the world? Elaine, I see you shaking your head. Linda, I see you shaking your head. Did you ever Google some of the most valuable, most successful companies of all time? Do you know when they were created? During a recession. Why is there so much wealth created by a smaller group of people during a downtime? And I believe this. It's a time of uncertainty. It's a time, today I want to talk about confidence and how to protect your confidence. I believe confidence is one of the most important and crucial things to your success, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Because in times like this, if you're not confident, what do? Kind of sit on your hands, right? Let's see where things go. You kind of freeze. And I think that's why this is the time where you actually have an unfair advantage, because the majority of the world who aren't a part of a group like this, who aren't connected, who aren't plugged in, who don't have capabilities, who don't gain the strategies to thrive, are going to sit on their hands and see what happens. You have way less competition and the opportunity is huge, especially those in the self-education industry that's exponentially growing. So we have a total unfair advantage. But what's the one thing that could trip us up? We call it imposter syndrome, self-doubt, fear. Let's see what's going on. Liliana, I see you smiling, right? It's like the thing that will trip us up the most is not the opportunity. It's the lack of seeing the opportunity. Our eyes can focus on whatever we want. We could focus on what's wrong, what could go wrong, what's not there for us, or we could focus on what's right and what opportunity we have. Right? Fear, uncertainty, doubt, lack of vision, fear, totally agree, mindset, right? False energy, ourselves, all of those things are the things that could make you play a little small. And then you fit in with everybody else and then you go, yeah, we're in a recession. No, the only place a recession needs to live is in the outside world. And here it's time for prosperity. So with thinking about that and listening to people's conversations, Kalar, is that, I said it right? I saw you giving a little fist pump there, right? Isn't this a time where a lot of conversations are about what's wrong? Can we raise your hand if in the last 48 hours you've heard people have conversations about what's wrong with the government, what's wrong with the world, what's wrong with the news, what's wrong with our leaders, right? So we're in this space. So what do we need to do? And I want you to write this down. Today is about protecting your confidence. Today is about protecting your confidence. Those of you who have been a part of my family for a long time, you've probably heard me say it a couple times a year forever. It's a saying I didn't make up, but I love it. In times like these, it's either easy to become the thermometer of life, right? What's a thermometer do? When the outside temperature changes, what does a thermometer do? It models the outside world and goes up and down, right? What does a thermostat do? You adjust. You decide, right? I mean, I'm not Kelly Johnson. I'm not sharing anything you don't already know, brother, right? But sometimes we need to remember that. Are we, like when you're feeling an emotion, you know what I say to myself? Thermometer or thermostat? I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm being the damn thermometer. I'm letting the outside world, outside influences, letting the news, negative people in my life, I'm letting them affect my confidence, my courage. And let me ask you, have any of you ever made a great decision or got the deal, got the sale, got the girl, got the guy, raised the money? Have you ever made a great decision or had something go wonderful in your life, even a conversation with your children, when your confidence is down? Think about when you're a little insecure, even just 10%. David Webb, I see you shaking your head, right? Even if your confidence is down just 10%, you're like, oh, now let me just see how this goes. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see if this will really work for me. Can I really do this? Confidence can be the killer or could be the thing that drives you. So today, I want to go over 4 points on how I believe to protect your confidence and build it. You guys ready for some confidence training? Okay. Okay, so first, I'm going to just ramble a few things, and then I'm going to get to 4 pieces. Number 1, and these I'm going to go quick, because I know a lot of you have had this training, you've heard it. 1 is focus. I would just be the auditor of your focus, right? Just be in conscious check. I don't know if you want to put a little dot on the back of your hand. I don't know if you want to write it on your journal. I don't know if you want to put it so your alarm goes off 3 times a day with a cool song. You could do that in your phone. You could set it to go off every day at a certain time. And every time it goes off, you just check in on your focus. Like, ooh, I'm staring at the negative news, focusing on what could go wrong. Ooh, I'm talking to a negative friend. Oh my God, I'm having a repetition thought of what if everything goes wrong? What if this doesn't work for me? I'm too old, it doesn't work. There's a bunch of hacks, and I just like to give you all the ones I do. I would just say check in with yourself a couple times a day and see where your focus is and see where your thoughts are. If you're feeling bad, I guarantee your focus is going. Reality is nothing more than the thing we focus on. Isn't that true? If we focus on what we could gain, we feel great. We focus on what we can lose, we feel like shit, right? So number 1 of these quick little ones before I get to the 4 pillars I want to do is focus. Watch your focus. Number 2, whatever your compelling future is, today is not going about your why. So many of you have gone through the 7 levels deep, or you've had, like, if you know where it is you want to be in a year from now, if it was a year from now, we're back on here, we're in a monthly inner circle, and it was the best year of your life, what does the best year of your life look like? I'm being repetitive today. All I want to do is be a reminder service on some of this. But what we have to do is we have to write down our freedom. I love that, right? Heather, whatever your compelling future is, you need to write it down. And then, how often do you have to look at it? As much as you need to. How often do New Year's resolutions work? Right? We set them, and if we don't look at them, they don't work. So what I'd say is understand what your compelling future is. Where is it that you want to go daily, Lisa? Whatever it takes, right? I have a friend who is a consultant, and he was consulting this high-power executive woman. She was a badass, and she was like 25 pounds heavier than she wanted to be compared to her ideal weight. And she had tried everything, and she hired a buddy of mine at $100,000 a year and said, finally get me to my ideal weight. I'm busy, I'm a mom, I'm an executive, I really don't have time. And she tried all these diets, and she tried keto, she tried this. You know what he did? He said, send me a picture of you at your ideal weight, a full body shot. I want you to hear this. You ready for this one? She sent it to him. He had a life-size cardboard cutout printed of it. And he sent it to her and said, put this in your kitchen for 2 months. And she found the full-size picture of herself at her ideal weight, cardboard cutout. She put it in her kitchen for 2 months. That's all he did. She found that weight within 2 months. Because what was it? It was in her face every day. Every morning she went like, that's who I want to be. That's who I want to be. The byproduct was she hit it in 2 months. Right? How important is focus and a compelling future? Everything. Her focus was on that, and that was her compelling future. Number 3, I love this one. You've heard me say it. Be disturbed with your own inaction. Be disturbed with your own inaction. Right? Because so many times we won't take action because we feel like we got to have it all perfect. Do we have to have it perfect, or we just have to get some momentum and start moving forward, right? So be disturbed with inaction. And then I'm reading a great book, and I love the word. There's one word that it will, if you add it to your life, it makes success inevitable. I don't know many words you could say. What's one word that can make success inevitable? Anybody know it? What's one word? Oh, there we go. It's amazing. Who was that? That was Carl got it first. Persistence. Persistence. Some of you, unfortunately, have to fail 10 times in your life, and the 11th time, you win. And that's where your new life, your new business takes off, the sales start coming in. Some of you might only have to fail once or twice. Some of you might have to fail 25 or 100 times. What's the definition of success? What is the commonality of the most successful people in the world? And I don't mean multi-billionaires. I'm just talking about people who live a successful, happy, abundant life. Just they didn't give up. There was never a time that said, I've tried 9 times, I'm done. That wasn't the case. I'm just persistent. I got to try 10 times. Oh, that didn't work. Got to try 11 times. Persistence. persistence, persistence. Put that in our vocabularies, nothing will stop us. Okay, now that was just the warm-up. They were quick, they were just coming to my heart. I lay these out, like I said, a couple days before when I think you need. So 4 pillars to protecting your confidence. Number 1, watching the outside influences. So if you want to write anything down, if you want to put it in the chat, it's outside influences. So I'm going to give you a little algorithm. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to give you something brilliant. No, it's really not brilliant. It's the simplest thing you've ever heard. You'd be like, really? I'm here on a Wednesday to get this brilliant info? I want to talk about things that if they take away your confidence, let's identify them, and let's do less of them, right? And then we're going to identify some things that build your confidence, and what are we going to do with those? More of them, right? I don't want to oversimplify things, but sometimes we kind of do that Einstein thing, the definition of insanity, same thing over and over, expecting a different result. There's things that rob our confidence, and I want to talk about outside influences. They rob our confidence, put us in a bad state. We don't take action because of it, but we go ahead and do it the next day over and over again. Can that be true? Could that possibly be true? So let's talk about some outside influences that could rob your confidence. We all agree. Can we agree that higher confidence you can achieve higher success? Can we all agree? Is there anybody that doesn't believe that? Is there some people that just never raise their hand, right? So if low confidence will stop us from having the success we want, and high confidence can get us to jump out of the plane and grow wings on the way down, what are some things that take away your confidence? I'm not going to do through all of them. There we go, Coach Danielle. How about the news? Does the news raise your confidence or lower your confidence? Up or down? Give me an up or down, right? Have any of you watched the news in the last 6 months and said to yourself, damn, things are going in a great direction. I feel amazing. God, our country, our world, we're in a really good spot. Honey, if you missed the news, you should watch it tonight. It's so inspirational. No, if you watch the news right now, tell me you don't get mad. I don't care if you watch conservative news or liberal news. You got to be pissed off. True? Right? So if it pisses you off and it makes you feel insecure, but you do it again tomorrow and you do it again the next day, that is one of those things that you are doing that frustrates you, that lowers your confidence, stopping you from taking that uncomfortable action, but you're doing it anyway. Here's a revolutionary idea. Go on a 2-week news diet. Not an ounce of it. Don't read it. Don't watch it. Don't listen to, if your friends start talking about it, go, I'm on a 2-week news diet. See what it's like. I know some of you got to go through a little withdrawal. See what it's like to go 2 weeks with zero influence on the outside, because the only way we get to change the world anyway, no one's coming to save us. Doesn't matter if you like the last president or hate him, or you like the new president or hate him, wherever you live in the world, or the next one, if you love him or hate him. None of them are fixing our shit. Excuse my language. None of them are coming to fix us. So if they're not coming to fix it, why the hell are we letting that outside influence dictate how we feel when, if we want to change the economy in the world, change the economy in your home. You want to change the global conversation? Change the global conversation and the people that you can impact. That's how we change the world. It doesn't come from the top down. It comes from the bottom up. So if something like the news gets you to lower your confidence, where you play a little small, then go 2 weeks without it and fill that time with something that takes you to the next level. Dive into your first course, your first module, your first training. Listen, if you're not going through the old inner circles, you know, there's so much value in those inner circles. You have access to like 3 years of them. You could schedule one a week for the next year. So what outside influences are robbing your confidence? Number 2, unqualified people. For some reason, we are looking for edification. We are looking for permission for people that are unqualified to give us that permission. What the hell is that? Like, if you have a husband who doesn't believe in what you believe, we're just always working to get him to give us a pat on the back. God gave you this vision. The universe gave you this vision, not him, not your friends. But for some reason, you're looking for this. Come on, just say, atta girl, go do it. You may never get it. And when we look for it and we don't get it, it robs our confidence. I just wish they'd have my back. Maybe they won't. The best definition I've ever heard of, I think it was Frank Sinatra said, the best revenge is success. I don't mean you want to get revenge against someone who doesn't believe in you, but don't tell them what you're going to do. Show them what you've done. Greatest lesson my grandmother taught me. She taught me that when I was really little. She goes, don't ever tell anybody what you're going to do. Just do it. They'll find out. How cool is that? Like, just do it. They'll find out, right? So don't ask for permission. The only person that needs to give you permission to build your confidence is the person you see in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth. So stop looking for unqualified people to give you a pat on the back or an attaboy, attagirl. It's you, okay? Number 3, what do you guys think is the most expensive advice in the world? Who's the first one's going to get this? What's the most, oh, there you go, Coach Danielle. There you go, Stacy and Rachel, bad and free advice. Look at this group. I love you guys. Love you guys for that. But you have to remember it. We're asking our broke friend about our new business. We're asking our single friend about our relationships. Come on, we're asking the negative person. You already know. Some of the people you ask advice, you already know what they're going to say. You already know what they're going to say. Amy, Flux, I see you shaking your head. You already know they're going to tell you, you're crazy. Ready for this one, Amy? You should be happy with what you have. You already know if you ask the right person, that's exactly what they're going to tell you. So what the hell are we looking for? The most costly advice in the world is bad advice. Listen, I've told this story before, but we have so many new people here today. My parents, I love them dearly. And my parents are really good at getting married, but they're exceptional at getting divorced. My parents, between the two of them, were married 9 times. My mom 5, my dad 4. And my dad's single. My mom lost her husband. I love them more than life. But the fact of the matter is, I do not ask them relationship advice because they only know how to do it wrong. I'm just being honest. That sounds, you might be thinking, you're a horrible son. No, they just screw that crap up every single time, and my father refuses to be, he just brings the same old dude to the next relationship. I'm like, that's about 18 months. I could watch it on the clock like time, because he's bringing the same dude. So how could I get advice from him when he knows how to do it wrong? Sometimes you think, let me ask somebody who tried and failed. No, because they're jaded and they only know how to do it wrong. Someone who's tried, failed, and then succeeded in a big way, hell yes. But not someone who's just failed because they don't know the other side of the spectrum. My sister does that, right? I get it, David. My sister did too. So there are just a few things. Oh, here's another outside influence that'll crush you. Comparison. Today in social media, we start going online and going, oh, they're happier, they're faster, they're younger, they're quicker, they understand technology. We have no idea what's going on in people's lives. Social media could be some of the fakest crap you've ever seen in your life. Somebody takes 72 pictures with 14 different filters to make everything look perfect, and they get done and they kick their dog and yell at their spouse. Like, you don't know what's going on behind people's doors, so don't compare yourself to anyone else. Compare yourself to who you were last week. That's who we have to compare ourselves. We just have to make progress. Progress internally. We just have to look back and go, I was pretty cool a year ago, but I'm freaking better now. I was scared a month ago. I'm less scared today. I didn't understand my dot 3 months ago. I know what the hell that is now. Right? All we have to do is be a better version of ourselves today than we were last week. That's the only person to compare to. So with that simple analogy I started to, if things rob our confidence, like the news and unqualified people and bad advice in comparison, what should we do? Here's a trick question. What should we do with those? Put it in the chat. What should we do with those? Less. Ditch them. Get rid of them. Right? Sounds so simple. But if you don't remind yourself, in a month from now, a week from now, you're going to be watching the news, asking your sister, comparing yourself to someone online going, why the hell is any of this working for me? I should just quit. Like, that's just the way it goes. So what do we have to do? We have to stay engaged. Stay engaged in this community. Stay engaged in the Facebook group. Find people that light you up. Read books that empower you. Don't look at the news. When you don't not look at the news, listen to a Wayne Dyer book. Not looking at the news? Find something that inspires you. Not looking at the news? Go in and schedule an inner circle once a week for the next 2 months instead of your news. You're dying to watch the news tomorrow night? Go grab the inner circle from 3 months ago. It'll blow you away. Go watch a module inside the course. Do something other than what you were doing that robs your confidence, and do something that empowers your confidence. Read Millionaire Success Habits like Kathy Barber's holding up right now, right? That's the kind of things we have to do, guys. We have to just do more of the things that empower our confidence and less of the things that don't. Pretty simple. Inside your back office, Kathy, inside the back office of mastermind.com. If some of you don't know how to find that, make sure you email customer support. I'll get that email, customer support. Could you, I think it's support@mastermind.com. Could you get me the email address? And if you're having trouble, you could just put it in the chat, say someone reach out to me, and I'm sure we have people watching. Okay, so that's number one, outside influences. You guys get it? More of the stuff that empowers you, less of the stuff that doesn't. Go on a news diet. Try it. Number two, inside influences. Ooh, they're just as powerful, right? Who in here has ever used the word to a friend or internally that self-doubt or imposter syndrome? Who's ever used any of those terms in your life? Like, I don't have a following, who would know me, who would buy from me, I'm not that internal talk that's already cost you way too much in your life. I see you, Gemma and Marta, right? Look at all this. Look at, I'm cruel to myself. I know, Damien. People do that, right? So, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. How do we crush that? Well, one thing I want you to think about is when you think of your own value, I've asked this question a million times. I'm going to ask it again, just so you think about it. What would it be worth? I see Amy is right in front of me, and she was shaking her head. Amy Flux. Amy, what would it be worth if you could go spend a day, a whole day, with your 18-year-old self? What would that be worth? To give your 18-year-old self advice, to say what you should do in relationships, in business, in life, right? Look at all the, what would that be worth? Just think of that little, think of, what advice would you give about relationships? Oh my God, don't jump into the first thing, or don't let that one pass. Right? Or, oh, when it comes to work, I know you went to school and you have this debt, but follow your heart because you could do anything you put your mind to. Or, I don't know what the advice is, but you do. Look at this coming in. I bet if we spend enough time on it, I see Mary, you shaking your head. You could go back and cry thinking about what you would love to tell. You grab your 18-year-old self by the shoulders, like, just stop it. Listen to me, right? That's how valuable you are. That's how valuable you are. You're saying priceless, everything. You are priceless. You are everything. And you have a message that valuable to someone else. But here's what I want to tell you. The part that we have to kill at a high level is you have already missed opportunities in your life because of that limiting belief, because of that story, because of that voice. Is that true? Is that true, Nancy? Cammie? Have we already missed opportunities in our life? Ruby? Right? I was going to do it, but I didn't have the money at the time. I was going to do it, but you know, that's for dudes. Girls don't go into that market. I was going to do it, but my mom said I was crazy. My spouse didn't believe in me. Though that story hurts now, how bad do you think it'll feel when you're 97 years old and at the end of your life? We got to get leverage. We got to get leverage today to not let that crappy story, not let that inner self-doubt, because here's what I would say as an exercise, and you could do this later, but what has self-doubt, imposter syndrome, fear, whatever you want to call it, it's all fear, what has it already cost you? What's it already cost you? Put it in the chat. What has self-doubt, imposter syndrome, or fear already cost you? Everything. Freedom, time, billions, money, freedom, my dreams, 10 years. 10 years. Feel, oh my God, I just got emotional thinking about that. It's cost you 10 years, right? Everything. So I want you to look at this in a different way today. If you know it's already cost you money, it's already cost you 10 years, it's cost your freedom, it's cost time, it's cost so many things, stress. If it's already cost you that, you kind of already know the enemy, don't you? You already know the thought. You already know. Listen, when you guys get on the edge of going all in on doing a part of Mastermind and going in and creating a course, a workshop, a Mastermind, you're going all in, you know the enemy's going to show up and be like, we're too old for this. Your husband doesn't believe in you. You're too young. There's a million things. You already know yours. You know the enemy's coming. Is that true? We already know the story's coming. So if you know the story's coming, it'd be like if you were an army and you already fought an army like 10 times, and then you had a scout ride in and say, hey, the army is 3 months away. They're coming. You could fortify the camp. You could build up the army. You could do whatever it takes to be ready. You don't have to say, oh, it's 3 months away, let's ignore it. And then one morning you're like, oh my God, the army's at our front door. You already know it. You can identify it, and you could start building a fortress to not let that story, that horrible belief, that thing that's already cost you too much, you don't have to let it in again. You could make the decision that I am stronger than this story. Because what's stronger? Letting that story stop you again? Dean and Tony, it's cool and I like it and it's a great community. I really enjoyed everything so far, but I'm going to quit. Like, seriously, let's just be honest. Some of you are going to be like, I love this. Inner Circle was amazing. This was amazing. The challenge was amazing. This was amazing. But I don't think it's going to work for me. Bullshit. Sorry. That's just a story that's already cost you way too much in the past, and you're letting it win again. How many times are you going to let it win? You already know the enemy, so start fortifying, start shifting, start changing that story, because I can tell you right now, as bad as it feels right now, amplify it times 1,000 when we're at the end of our lives and you realize you played small. You let some crappy little belief, some crappy little story that you're afraid of putting yourself out there. You're afraid because you're an introvert. You're afraid because your family members would know you wanted to do something different. There's something that seems big today, and at the end of your life, it'll seem like a pimple that you should have said. At the end of your life, who would literally beg and plead to go over and do it again and say, oh, I could give two craps about that now. Please, can I go back? We don't get a do-over. We don't get a do-over. So are you going to let that inner self-doubt stop you? And for those of you that were a part of the challenge, and I know most all of you were, I told that story about when I took that walk and said, should I go into this industry or not? I don't know if you remember that. That wasn't made up. That's a walk we've all been on, whether it's a walk, a talk, a shower conversation of, do I go for, I know I'm meant for more. I could be more. I could do more. It's uncomfortable. It's scary. It's unknown. But damn it, I can do it. And on the other side is the voice of, you should be happy where you are. Why are you always pushing the envelope? Why can't you just be satisfied? You're too old for that. You're too young for that. You live in the wrong area. You're not that great with technology. Those two voices are a millimeter apart. Just like the old story of the two wolves. Which one are you going to fuel? The unstoppable you? Or the one that lives with regret? That's a choice we get to make all the time, guys. I only can share this because I go through it every day. I have to think about these things every day. It's like the gym, remember. That's why I started Inner Circle. I started Inner Circle because I know we need this all the time. Who can't wait to be on next month? Right? I'll have another topic next month that'll get us back on track. Right? We do weekly why do you think I go live every Monday in the Facebook group for you guys? Every one of you. If you're on here, you have access to the Facebook group. If you don't know, I go live every Monday, 10, 15 minutes just to jumpstart the week, because I know how easy it is to fall back in the old you. And if you love the old you exactly the way it was, you wouldn't be here, you'd be doing that. So we have to stay engaged. We have to stay plugged in. So what inside influences do you need to shift? And can you do it through some routines? What routine or habit, however you want to call it, a routine or a habit, what routine or habit could you shift? I don't know. When you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is roll over and look at your phone and you see maybe a bad email or a weird text, or you get sucked into social media and you're like, oh, I'm just going to look for a minute. And then all of a sudden you look, it's like, oh my God, 27 minutes went by. Where did I just go looking at stupid crap, right? And then you're like running a little late and you missed going to the gym. You missed a routine. Like, is there a routine that you could start doing? Can you say, hey, I'm spending an hour a day inside listening to Tony Robbins, listening to anything that empowers you, a certain podcast that you love, going through the modules in the course, being in mastermind, looking through the inner circles, watching Monday trainings. I don't know. Is there something you can do as a routine? Find the best book of your life. And when you wake up in the morning, before you look at anything, you open the book and you read just 2 chapters. Or you listen to something, or you practice gratitude, or you pray to God, or you drink a green drink, or you take a walk, or you go to the gym. There are things that we can do that start to shift routines and give us confidence in a new way. I've used this terminology for a long time. I want to set my day up for offense, not defense. Think about that. When our confidence is down, I believe we play defense. Right? Just wait for the shit to go wrong and I'll fix it. Ugh, I'll take care of that. What's going on with the kids? What's going on with the family? What's going on with the husband, the wife, the business? I'll just fix it. I'm the fixer. Who in here considers themselves a fixer? Raise your hand if you consider yourselves a fixer. I am. And that's great. You're a fixer. But when's the last time you had thoughts of being proactive? Instead of playing goalie, you were out front getting ready to score a goal. That you were seeing where the world was going, doing something innovative, doing something new, breaking patterns. Sometimes we get stuck in fix-it mode. And though you might be great at it, and you need that in business, you also need offense. You need creativity. You need to be out front trying to score goals. So how do we set our day up to be supercharged? How do we set our day up for offense? How do I set our day up for confidence? I don't know what you could do, but you should find something. I'll tell you what I do. I wake up in the morning and I immediately think of a win that I had the day before. I've just trained my brain to do this. I'm like, what was something that happened yesterday? It could be something personal, like, hey, that ride with my daughter on her way to softball practice, God, she opened up to me so much. God, I must be doing a good job as a dad. That's a win, right? Or being at my son's flag football and he scores a touchdown and the first place he looks is me watching him, like, damn good that I'm here right now. Damn it, I'm so glad I'm here. That's a win. Or it could be, I had a kick-ass inner circle. I watched everybody being engaged. Or I wrote 2 chapters in my book. Or I created a new course. Or I had a great conversation with Tony. Or we're starting a new company. I just think of what's a win from yesterday, and then what's a win I'd like to have today. Right? That's simple. That's like 5 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe a minute, right? And then for me, I get up and I go drink a green drink. I've been drinking a green drink for like 20 years. It's a scoop of green powder, sometimes apple cider vinegar, a little lemon. I just do a green drink and because I feel like I nourish my soul. I help alkalize my body and nourish my soul. And then I immediately, right now my routine, as soon as I do that, I immediately go take a walk. I take about a 1.5 mile loop. I walk, I think, I pray. Sometimes I shoot videos. You'll see one on my Instagram that I shot this morning, right? And then I come back and I work out for about 45 minutes. And then I go do a morning routine with my kids. If I do that, I am empowered. There is nothing that can mess up my day. I've been doing this for a long time. There are some days I wake up and I'm like, let me just check that one email, and then I get sucked into something else and sucked into something else and sucked into something else. And then I walk into the gym and I sit on the bench and I go, let me just finish this one email. And then I'm like, oh my God, an hour went by. I can't work out. I race into the other room. I didn't work out. I got sucked into emails. I'm in defense mode. I'm scrambling to get my kids ready and to get them to school. It's just a routine that I love to do. I drop them off frazzled. And my whole day is set up for defense. Confidence is down. Paulette, I see you shaking your head. Anwar, I see you shaking your head, man. Right? You just set your day up for kind of a crappy day. So as far as inside influences, are there subtle little shifts in your routines that you can do that help you fuel the millimeter over here of the unstoppable you, that you could do anything you want, that you'll be innovative, that you'll be creative, that you'll take a step in the new direction. You got this. You feel amazing. You don't have to model your husband, your wife, your friends, your family. You could be you. You could do you. You could look in the mirror and give yourself permission. Fuel that guy. Fuel that woman, right? So what do we have to do? Subtle shifts, right? Discipline. Cold showers, Heather, meditation, whatever it is for you. I tried meditating for years. That's my walk. I can't meditate. Sorry, there's some of you, when you build your meditation course, I'll probably buy it because I buy meditation courses all the time. I found my closest thing is my mile walk, and I try to it's just my gig, right? But some of you, meditation is it. Some of you, it's yoga. Some of you, it's a walk. Some of you it's praying. Some of you it's going to church. Find your gig to fire you up in the morning to set your day up for offense, which equals confidence. You guys feeling this? So the first one is watch the outside influences. The second one is inside influences. Watch that story. The third one, this is a huge one. Stop working or focusing on your weaknesses. Stop focusing on your weaknesses. You guys want to put that in the chat, write it in your journal. I think it is the biggest lie we've ever been told growing up is that we need to get better at what we're not good at. Biggest crock of doo-doo, look, I didn't swear, that's ever existed. Raise your hand if you know you're not good at something. Okay? Do you guys feel amazing when you work? Is your confidence high when you work on something you're not good at? Right? Think about that. I suck at reading. I have dyslexia. I can't read. I didn't read a book. By the time I was 25, I had not read one book in my life. True story. I did not read one book. I have a form of dyslexia where it's so hard to stay focused. Like my eyes go faster than the words and they just don't set in and I can't spell, so I hate writing. And it was brutal getting through school and I couldn't wait to get out of school. I didn't go to college. In 12th grade, I got out of school at 11:15. I took math, gym, and one other credit, and I was at work working on cars. By 11:45, I was at work in 12th grade because I just thought I was the dumbest guy alive because I couldn't read and I had dyslexia. And I remember Miss Thompson in 7th grade. I still remember Miss Thompson calling me stupid and dumb and just telling me to sound it out and I'll never amount to anything. Yeah, must suck for her now. Anyway, right? The whole point is I was focusing on that. And how cool is it at 25, 27 years old? I discovered audio and I can listen to a whole book. I listen to a book a week sometimes, a book a month definitely, sometimes a book a week. I can listen to a book and remember the entire thing. I can recite some of it. So I wasn't so good at reading and remembering, but I can listen or watch. Oh, I retain it forever. I wasn't dumb. I just needed a different category. I needed a different learning modality, right? So, but what happens in life without us realizing is we focus on what we're not good at and all we do is get okay at something we originally sucked at. Rather, the secret is get amazing at what you're already good at and pay someone to do the rest eventually. That's the secret to success. When you start, you got to do all of it. Sonny, Carol, just being honest. Rika, when you start, you got to do all of it yourself. But as you gain success, what you got to start doing is stop doing the things that don't empower you, that you're not good at or you don't like. Get better at what you're good at, make more money from that, and pay people to do the other pieces. Or barter with people. I want to give you a story. Two, actually. Ned Hollowell is been on Oprah 5 or 6 times. She called him the world's leading ADD doctor. He's Harvard trained. He's a Harvard professor. He's written multiple books on it. And helps kids with ADD. And I had the chance to meet him, became friends with him, and I asked him about ADD, and he said, ADD, it's a gift. He said, just think, you're born with a Ferrari engine, but bicycle brakes. And he's like, all I do is I help people get better brakes. And when you do, you can go faster with that Ferrari, right? So I said, well, how do you help kids and people with ADD? So he gave me this story. I'm going to tell you the exact story. He said, let's take Johnny, for example. Johnny's in class, and the teacher tells him to read this book. And Johnny's trying to read, and he's not paying attention. He can't focus. And the teacher's like, I said, read that book, Johnny. Get it done. You're not leaving this room till you read that. And all of a sudden, Johnny can't take it. He goes from a tapping foot. Now he's running around the classroom. So now he goes from ADD, the little guy's got ADHD because he's hyper. He's like, to me, he just lost his confidence. Johnny's having trouble reading, and he wants him to do something he's not good at. He said, here's how I do. I get with Johnny's teachers and his parents, and I find out what Johnny's good at. Maybe he's good at math. Maybe he's good at art. Maybe he's good at video games. Maybe he's good at a certain sport. I got goosebumps thinking about this. He said, then we rally around Johnny and we help him get great at the thing he's already good at. He's good at math, let's get him great at math. He's good at art, let's get him great at art. He goes, you spend the time to get Johnny great at one thing, his confidence goes up. Look at that. I don't know if you can see the goosebumps on my face. He goes, you fast forward 6 months or a year, Johnny's reading the book because he's a confident young man. So how important is confidence? Ned Hollowell, considered the #1 world's leading ADD doctor, helps cure adults and children with ADD with confidence. The hell, who would ever have thought of that, right? I'll tell you another story. I used to, in the self-education industry, as many of you might know, I used to teach real estate education. And I had a high-level mastermind. And it was only for people that were doing multiple deals a month. And it wasn't how to get in your first deal. I taught people how to do their first deal, but then people that were doing deal after deal, I've done several thousand real estate deals in my life. We had a high-end mastermind to help them go faster to do more deals. And there was a gentleman named Tom. He was probably 65 years old at the time. And I was going down the room and I said, what's the #1 thing holding you back? And I was just trying to get a feel of where everybody was to go from 4 deals a month to 8 or 8 to 20 or 20 to 50. I got to Tom. I said, what's holding you back, man? He said, now you got to realize, Tom had already done about 15 deals and he was averaging about $15,000 a deal. So he's doing really well, right? So I got to Tom, what's holding you back? He's like, I'm a slob. I'm so sloppy. He's like, I'm so unorganized. I could clean my car a day later. I can clean my home office and there's stuff all over. I don't know where my paperwork is. And you know what I got to do? This is how long ago it was. He goes, I got to go to Office Max, get a filing cabinet. I want to get an organization system and color code it and put my bills all in this stuff. And I want to get organized. And I said, I listened to him. I said, Tom, I said, can I be honest with you? You're going to be a slob and disorganized your whole life. You're 65, dude. Give it up. Ain't never happened. Right? And I remember him looking at me like, I don't even know what it was at the time. $40,000 mastermind was a high-level mastermind. I'm picturing him saying like, really? I gave this guy money to insult me? And I said to him, dude, I can't believe you see that in yourself. You didn't talk about the deals that you've done. You talked about the one insecurity that you've been holding on to. I said, did your mom tell you you were unorganized and sloppy? He said, yeah. And I said, how about teachers? Like, whew, yeah. I said, how about your wife? And he got a little emotional. He's like, yeah, a lot. I said, well, if your mom didn't get you to switch and your teachers didn't get you to switch and the woman of your dreams, because he was always bragging about his wife, didn't get you to switch, dude, you're going to be a slob and unorganized for the rest of your life. And who gives a shit? Exactly what I said to him. Who cares? Who cares? Tom, you're making $15,000 a deal. You are amazing at finding deals. He was a communicator. He'd go knock on doors and talk to people and help them move. And he literally, when they moved out, he'd go there with his truck and help them move. And while they were moving, he's like, you're so sweet. My cousin needs to sell. My brother needs to sell. And he was just compounding because he was such a sweet man. This guy was an amazing communicator, making amazing money, doing all those things. And the thing he brings up is he's got to go to Office Max and organize. You know what I told him? I said, Tom, what if you got better at finding one extra deal? I said, you're averaging $15,000 a deal. What if you got better at that? Do you think you could do 2 extra deals a year if you got better at finding them, fixing them, flipping them? He's like, of course I could. I could probably do 1 extra a month. Still didn't trigger in his mind, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, tell me some of the things you're doing. Oh, I advertise like this. And then he got excited. I talk like this. I do this. I do this. Could you do that? I'm like, oh, I could get better at that. Oh, yeah, I could send out twice as many. I could talk to twice as many people. Oh, I could double my deals. I said, okay. So if you did 2 extra deals a year, that's $30,000. Do you think you could pay someone $30,000 a year to organize your life? And he got tears in his eyes. He literally stopped. I remember to this day, that's why I'm telling the story. He sat there, he went, why didn't I think about this sooner? And I watched him let go 65 years of thinking he was this slob, unorganized guy to realizing he was a badass that just wasn't good in one thing. I'm never going to be good at spelling or reading. I cannot. If I write something in Word doc, every 3rd word is lit up. And most of the time, the Word doc or the Google doc can't figure out what I'm trying to spell. Literally. I got to say it in my phone. I literally record it in my phone so it spells it and then I type it out. I'm never going to be good at selling, nor do I give a crap. I don't care. I'm a multiple New York Times best-selling author, and I can't spell because I just hire an editor to clean up my shit. Excuse me, my language today. I'm just in a mood, right? But I watched Tom drop 60 years off his back of feeling like this unorganized slob when he realized I'm amazing at this. And here's the cool part. I never talked to him again after that. That was our last meeting. And he left. He hugged me and hugged me. He's like, I can't believe this. Why didn't I think about that? He called me. He called our office, and it got back to me. And he said, I can't believe it. My wife was a teacher. He said, when I told my wife, and I said, please support me on this. I'm going to do more deals. I'm going to hire someone to do it. He goes, guess what happened? She quit her teaching job and said, I'll take the 30 grand and I'll organize your life. How freaking amazing is that? Like, oh my God, I didn't personally get the story. My team told me they were cheering. They're like, just because he recognized that he's never going to be organized. Who cares? He can come home and plop the cash down on the table and be like, clean my shit up, babe. Like, they're a team. Or he could hire someone else to do it. Audra, I see you laughing at me, right? I'm just in a space. This is my inner circle family, right? So we just have to remember that as we evolve, if we get better, if we get amazing at what we're good at, you have the opportunity to hire people or barter with people to do the things you don't, right? I remember the last thing I'll tell you on this, and I really am anchoring it home, is I've evolved this philosophy so much that I evolved it to an ROI, meaning what can I be doing? Let's say you do something, you build your course, you have a weekend Zoom mastermind, or a weekend Zoom workshop. Or let's just say you're like Inner Circle. You're going to go live once a month and teach people how to go vegan, find themselves true love, fix their relationship, help people with divorce, any one of the niches you're in. You're going to go live once a month and help people. And you start with 3 members, and 15, and then 35, and then 70, and 100, right? And you realize every time I come up with a new thing, or do a better marketing strategy, or go on a podcast eventually, or I find Facebook groups, and I get people to raise their hand that have the same topic as me, and I send them over to what I do. Every time I do that, man, that equals about $100 an hour. Wow. Someday it'll be $200 an hour and $1,000 an hour. Holy crap, I'm going to get better at that. Like I told Tom, get better at flipping deals, right? So say you get better at that. See, I've trained my brain to start looking, what can I pay someone? Let's say I do an exercise, I do something that I know on average makes me $100 an hour. Should you be doing $15 an hour tasks? Should you? Alan Farmer, I see you shaking your head, right? Because if I can make $100 an hour, and I can pay you to mow my lawn, or I could pay you to do my laundry, or I could pay you to go get the dry cleaning, I could pay you to go grocery shopping for me, I could pay you to give me food, and that average is $20 an hour. If I'm working on my unique ability, the thing I'm getting better and making $100, that's an $80 net profit. I'm not doing it. I'm not. And I've become so obsessive with this, you have no idea. I do it with everything. I'm not kidding you. I'm going to tell you something that through my mom's lens, when she first heard it, she was like a little, my mom came out and visited me. I had lived in Arizona for about 7 years, 8 years. And she comes and visits me. And she said, babe, your garbage cans are full. You know how you drag your garbage cans out? If you're lucky enough that they come get your garbage, you drag them out to the street on a certain day. I'd lived in this house for like 6 years. My mom comes and visits me and goes, babe, your garbages are full. What day does the garbage come so you can drag them out? And I was like, I don't know, Mom. She goes, well, what do you mean you don't know? You got to take your garbage every week. I'm like, I've never taken it out. I have no idea. She's like, you pay someone to take out your garbage? I said, yep. And I pay somebody to change the light bulbs. Now, you got to understand something. I grew up blue collar. I built 20 houses in my life. I can change an engine, paint a car. I can do all of it. It has nothing to do with lack of capabilities. She's like, you pay someone to change a light bulb? Dean. She's like, should we talk? I'm like, yeah, we should, Mom. And I talked to her this way. I said, hey, I bought you a new house this year. I bought you a new car this year. I bought Daddy a house this year. I bought Daddy a new car. I take care of this one. I take care of that one. I employ 80 people. I went through the whole thing, and I said, when I work on creating a course or a workshop or a mastermind or writing a new book, let's just say, I make $1,000 an hour, Mom, every hour that I work. The man mowing my lawn, he gets $22 an hour. The guy that comes and takes out my garbage and changes the lights, he gets $18 an hour. Should I be doing that, or should I go create a new course for $1,000 an hour? Which one? And I watch my mom go, son of a bitch, why didn't anybody ever teach me? No wonder I'm broke. That's exactly what my mom said. She goes, no wonder I'm broke. No wonder my son has to support me. Who the hell? She goes, I always was taught that if you could do it yourself, do it yourself. I'm like, yeah, that's the biggest lie you've ever been told. So if you understand, I kind of am like planting a seed with you that don't work on your weaknesses, but do you see how it can evolve? You can see how it can evolve where you start looking at shit and you go, oh, I'm never doing that again. And then you start looking like, wow, I said I don't have time. But if I could sell, here's the stuff you start figuring. If I could sell 3 courses a month, let's just say 3 courses or 3 new members or 3 workshop members or 3 whatever a month. Let's just use a number. That's $3 a month. That'd be $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month. If I spend the time to get those 3 is $1,000. Could I get someone for $50 a week to just go, or $100 a week to go pick up my dry cleaning, my groceries, and clean my house or whatever it is? And you start going, oh, I do have time. I could spend $100 and that would free me up for 3 hours a week. And I could spend that 3 hours a week making sure I get at least 3 sales a month. And that means I have an ROI. I have a return on my investment. Do you understand that different philosophy of thinking on how you gain time? Everybody always says, how do you gain time? Because I'm always obsessing on what could someone else do that I could do what I do best and I could pay them to do it. And that's how we fuel the economy and help things grow. You guys feeling this today? Okay. The last piece, and this is really quick. Stay connected. Stay in community. Stay in a group like this. Support each other. Don't give up on you. Don't have to be out there doing it on your own. There's plenty of things out there. There's outside influences. There's inside influences. There's self-doubt. There's working on your weaknesses. All of those things are out there. But in here, we get to focus on who we can become. We get to fuel the right wolf, that internal wolf. We get to fuel the opposite of self-doubt. We get to fuel that inner hero. We get to lean on each other. We get to take in information. The biggest thing that could stop you is the self-doubt, the lack of confidence. So what I'd say is learn from those that have already been there and have succeeded and are playing the game at the highest level. If it's in this space, you're at the right. If it's in the self-education industry, you're in the right place. Tony and I have 65 years. Be around people who care and have capabilities. That's this amazing community that if you guys are new, you're going to fall in love with this community. Stay inside the Facebook group. Go through the inner circles. Show up here live every month. Show up on every training you could possibly do. If you can't be there live, promise yourself you'll watch it within 48 hours while it's fresh. We have to make shifts. We have to take uncomfortable action. If you keep doing what you did yesterday, you'll have the same thing tomorrow. If you want a different tomorrow, you have to do something different today. To have a different next year, it starts right this very moment of committing and saying, I'm in. I don't know where this is going to lead me, but I'm not giving up on me. I am not bouncing out. I'm staying in community. I'm staying connected. Does that make sense? Because it is easy to give up and go right back to where you were. And you know what you'll do? In 6 months, you'll be looking for something else. And I don't think you'll find a family like this. I don't think you'll find a community like this. I don't think you'll find people who care like this. This is a really special group. I love this inner circle group. I love all the communities. I'll see so many of you. I see so many familiar faces today. I'll see you in different groups, in different places. I just say stay connected. Stay all in. And the last thing I want to share is if most all of you, who's in Project Next? Raise your hand if you're in Project Next. Remember, if you're in Project Next, you have a ticket to the World Summit. 88% of you have already reserved your spot. If you haven't, look in your email. There should be one today or the one last week. Look for an email from me about Inner Circle just to confirm where you're coming, because I think we just need to reserve your spot, right? And again, 88% of you have confirmed, but there's 12% of you that just haven't said you're coming, and we sold out the last 2 years, and we don't want to hold the spot for you and then somebody else miss it, okay? So you have nothing else to do. You're already in, already paid for. You just got to say, I'm coming. Cool? So I know most of you have, probably all of you on here because you're the doers, you're here on this call. So make sure you look for that email, confirm you're going. Now, there's some of you that are in Mastermind, and I want you to write this down. Could you put it up on the screen? I think it's mmworldsummit.com. mmworldsummit.com. If you're a Mastermind member and you don't have a ticket to the World Summit, oh my God, we're going to do something today on this special page only for Inner Circle members. We have a $500. Our cheapest ticket is $597 this year. For you guys, there's a $295 ticket available for our Inner Circle members. If you haven't got your ticket, it's September 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's me and Tony. For those of you who were at last year's World Summit, tell the new people what it's like. It is an unbelievable 3-day immersive event. It is insane. So if you want to grab a ticket, zero stress if you don't, because we want you as a mastermind member for life. But I think you'd be crazy to miss it. It is, if you love this, imagine doing this 8, 9, 10 hours a day together with Tony and myself. It is unbelievable, and we'd love to have you there. It's mmworldsummit.com. Guys, thank you so much for being here on this Inner Circle. If it's your first one, thank you for being a part of the family. This is what we love to do. Next month will be about momentum or marketing or mindset, whatever is on my heart. Can't wait to see your faces. What we'll do is I'll play for those of you, because I know 95% of you in right now that I see are coming, I'm going to play the sizzle reel to the World Summit. The rest of you, confirm if you didn't. Confirm if you didn't, and if you want to grab a ticket, we have it priced at $295 just for Inner Circle members. That should be up for a couple days. We'd love to have you. Guys, we'll see you next week. Play that World Summit reel, and we'll see you in a month.
A 3-day, 40-hour full immersion event with two of the greatest success coaches to ever walk this planet, and that's Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi.
Welcome to the World Summit. You guys ready for a great 3 days?
This year, I've seen 2.2 million people around the world, and I get to be with you right now in the middle of the night, wherever you are.
You being here, you're learning and adapting to where the world is going so we can step into our greatness.
I'm used to creating a dynamic environment, but there's no other choice, so I said I'm going to get a building with 40-foot high ceilings, which is where we are now. We're going to have 20-foot high LED screens. It's 50 feet wide, all around me, 180 degrees.
I am going to give you 3 different ways for you to uncover and discover your superpower.
I was like, do you understand what I went through to learn these things for you?
It is not so much the product, because at the end of the day, the product is you.
Times have changed, and you don't have to figure this out on your own.
You are the designer of your destiny, and you are the author of your autobiography.
Open your mind to say, I'm not settling for who I am today. There is another level. Who's got another level in it?
Because if you do what's right and you give when it's hard to give, you'll discover your true self. I invite you, my dear friend.
Thanks so much for having this.
You guys just did an amazing job. It was a wonderful event, and I'm so grateful that I was able to.
I'm so grateful that I made that investment in me.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.